Hi, I'm Patty with StudioR12 Stencils, and today I'm going to show you all the steps you need to take to finish your projects like a pro. The key to finishing your projects like a pro all starts with how you begin your project. So you want to make sure that you sand, seal, put some wood putty on it if it needs it, and do all of those steps, because everything that you do on top of your raw surface is going to impact your finish. So make sure that you're finishing right. I'm going to show you a couple steps for that. So you would take sanding paper, and these are sanding blocks. So this area right here is very rough. So you give it some sand, you want to feel it, and then step down. This is a 60 grit, this is a 220. So this one is smoother, and now that's way smoother. So that's going to impact my base coat that I put on this. And then in this case, this has got a little bit of damage right there. So if you don't want it to look like you picked it up at a secondhand store, you go ahead and you get sanding. And I do a little bit of extra sanding right there. Sand my little corner, do my second sand. And now in this case, we would take just a little bit of wood putty. And a palette knife. And then we will put the wood putty in those cracks. And then we let that dry, and then we lightly sand it when it's dry. And then from there, you can decide if you want to seal your project or not. Sealing your project would be done with a multi-purpose sealer. You could also seal your project with a matte varnish as well. Either would be acceptable. You choose to seal your surface when you think something is going to get a little bit more abuse. So that's when you want to be careful with that. I tend not to seal my surfaces anymore unless they're going to go outside. And then I will take care to do all of the in-between steps. Okay, so let's fast forward. We've got our project all painted. When you are doing a professional finish, I really like to use a little bit of sanding before I can hear the roughness of this compared to this. I've totally got roughness going on. So just a light sanding. You don't want to eat through your paint though, so be careful with that. Okay, and then you could also, if you just need just a little bit of knocking down, you could also use a paper bag. And it will lightly sand. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, so now we have a beautifully finished surface. You're going to want to wipe it off. Paper towel, cloth, whatever. And then you're going to use a varnish, a wax, or a spray. Okay, so whichever of these, I've got reasons for using the spray. I want to show you how to nicely finish or put varnish on your project. When you're going to be outside with your project, this is the DecoArt matte varnish. If you're going to put your project outside, don't use anything shiny or glossy, because the sun will hit it, reflect, and then you won't be able to see the art. So matte is best for that. But I want to show you how to apply the varnish so that it's not streaky. Varnish has a leveling effect, so you don't want to be blow drying in between your layers. If your project is going to go outside, 3 coats of varnish is what I recommend, just to keep it from like the weather and the elements and all of that. I've got a sponge, some clean water, make sure your water is clean. I am squishing it out as tight as I can. And if you feel like you're not getting, maybe your grip isn't as good as it used to be, you can put it inside a paper towel and then step on it. Just don't want it sloppy wet. Okay, so then you can pick up some of your medium, and then you just apply with even strokes, all in the same direction. You'll find that the wetness of the sponge will allow it to make everything really smooth. I'm going to stop right there and show you two more tools. So you can use a foam brush, but I want to show you the difference. Like sometimes it's not the technique that you need as much as it is the knowledge of the tools. Okay, so this is very rough on here. It's been allowed to dry, has some crunchies. I can pull those off, but as soon as I start getting patterns and stuff, it will leave patterns on my project. This one is nice and tender, and it has really good bounce and everything to it still. So now with this, I would do the same as with this guy. Just nice, long, even strokes. And you need to be careful when you're varnishing, because if you go back through a tacky area, it will make these really horrible pull marks. So you want to be super careful about that. So if you have to leave it and you don't get to finish it, just go ahead and let it dry and then come back. The other way that you can apply varnish is to use a oval glaze. If you use flat brushes to varnish with, you run a risk of having that line, this line that if you lay it, I'll go over here. If you set it down, you can leave like a very horizontal line, okay, so that doesn't have a blending mechanism built in. This is shaved, this is an oval glaze. It's shaved this way, and it's oval this way, and you will see that this is a much better tool. Okay, so the way that you use the oval glaze, similarly, wet it and then dry it out. And then you can do the same. You see, this is dry over here. You can go back and forth and just apply your coat of varnish. Work methodically. Go from like one side to the other. Don't go from the top down. Go from side to side, because you can blend it better with the edges of your brush. So like where this is applying varnish, this one might be smoothing it out. So as you walk across, it blends it. So when you would use the matte finish, this is Krylon 1311 matte finish, I would use this product for anything that had like these raised areas. I would just spray right over the whole thing. This one's got glitter on it. If you use this spray over the top of glitter, then it will keep your glitter from flaking off, which is a big benefit. So if you needed to varnish something that has raised or weird elements to it, then this is the product that you want to do. And take this one outside or in a well-ventilated space. Make sure you read the stuff on the outside. And this is a fantastic quality product. I've been using it for years and years. Back to our spring project, I'm going to show you how to wax. If you like this project and you want to learn how to shade with your dome brushes and stuff, make sure you check that video out. It's a very fun bunch of techniques in that one. Okay, so this is the Minwax Paste Finishing Wax. Okay, and then I'm making a glove, so because this is stinky, we keep one of our sponges inside here. And you can just load your sponge and then just apply the medium. And then when you're finished, you can buff. I would wait for it to dry for like a day, and you can buff it and it will be really, really silky smooth. It is such a great way to finish your project. And then the other wax that you can use is the Clapham's Beeswax. I like this wax a lot because it's softer. This one also is the wax that will make your project food safe. You just reach in, and then the same effect. And if you needed to repair your project or you wanted to change something about your project and you've waxed, then you can use a grease cleaner, degreaser, to get the wax off. If you wanted to fix your project and do something else to it, and you have only varnished, then you don't need to worry about taking that off unless it's a gloss varnish. If you have that problem, then you can lightly sand with sanding paper, and then that will remove or give enough tooth to the shiny to let you do your fixes, and then you can reapply varnish. You can keep doing varnish paint, sealer paint, all that as many times as you want. I hope that answered a lot of your questions. If you have any more questions, make sure you put them in the comments below, and we'll be happy to answer anything that you've got going on. If you like this content and you want to see more of it, make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next video.